Hello there, welcome to Lesson 8 on limits, and we'll be going over a couple practice problems involving tangent lines. Now, from the previous video we learned the basic equation, the basic definition of a tangent line on a curve is this. This is for the slope at least. The slope of a tangent line is the limit as h goes to 0 goes to as f of x naught plus h minus f of x naught all over h. And if this looks new to you or confusing at all, go ahead and look at my previous lesson, number 7, on what this actually means. But now that we know that, let's go ahead and do a practice problem with x squared. Right there. So, we'll get rid of that, because it blocks off the 3, but tangent line on x squared. So, our graph of x squared this is going to be pretty rough, but it looks something like this. Whoop, I'll make that a little smoother. It's just our parabola. So it looks like that. Now, what we have is y equals x squared. And let's pick any point on here and find its tangent line. Let's pick 2, for example. Now if we go up to 2, our y value is going to be 4. And so we say, if we remember what we did before, we're going to use this equation to draw secant lines, where this mark here is h, 2 plus h, right in between here is h, and keep drawing secant lines closer and closer until we get to our final tangent line. So it's going to look something like this. Now, let's just go ahead and take our definition up here and use it. So, what's x naught? Our x naught here is just 2. So, let's make it simple and start off with m equals f of 2 plus h minus f of 2 over h. So you see, all we have to do here to find this slope, this tangent line here, is plug it in to our equation. That's our slope. Here's our limit. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put the limit over here. That's really important. Limit as h goes to 0. Now, let's go ahead and actually do this, and we'll see how easy this problem is. Now, f of 2 plus h means we're going to take 2 plus h and plug it into this, into x here. And so 2 plus h is going to get squared. And if you remember how to multiply using FOIL on here, then you're going to remember we multiply these two together, we get 4. Plus 4h plus h squared. And then for the second part, f of 2, we plug that in, and that's just simply 2 squared. So f of 2, and this is f of, well, actually I won't draw that, because this is f of 2 plus h, and then f of 2 simply equals 2 squared if we plug that in here, which is 4. So now we have these two parts, and let's go ahead and plug it back into here. So m equals the limit as h goes to 0 of f of 2 plus h, which is this, 4 plus 4h plus h squared, minus f of 2, which is 4, minus 4 over h. So let's see what happens. Now we have a 4 in here, minus 4 in here, so we can cancel these out. That just goes to 0. And we end up with 4h plus h squared over h. Now, if we factor in h on the top, we get this. H times 4 plus h over h. And if you remember what we learned about limits here, we'll go here. If you remember what we learned about limits, we said that as h goes to 0, we'll cross this off and then plug in what's left. Our 4 plus h is all that's left over. And then if we want to see what happens as h goes to 0, we simply plug in a 0 here. Now all we have left is this 4, and that's our answer. That's the slope here. I'll go ahead and box this. The slope when we look at 2 on y equals x squared is 4. How about we try 3? Let me do this. I'll just delete the 3 out of here to speed things up and just plug it right in. So there's our 3 minus f of 3. So let's just see if, let's say this is 3, and we see what happens for the tangent line. What's the slope of the tangent line at 3? So I'll get rid of all this. Now let's just do this a little more quickly. F of 3 plus h equals 3 plus h squared. Whoop, not that. 3 plus h, I'll just cross this out. 3 plus h squared equals 9 plus 6h plus h squared. And f of 3 equals 9. Because 3 squared is 9. So if we take this, if we look at the top here, we're going to get 9 plus 6h plus h squared minus 9. So these cancel. And hopefully you're following this. I don't mean to rush it, but I just want to make sure we have time for the second example. Over h. Limit as h goes to 0. In this example, so all we did was move this part down into here and minus 9. So because we're subtracting this portion from up here, this 9 is going to go away from there, and we're left over with 6h plus h squared on the top and h on the bottom. So that's what we have here. Now what we do again is cross out an h, cross out this h, and get rid of the squared there because we're getting rid of one of the h's. So we get the limit as h goes to 0 of 6 plus h. And if you plug in 0 for that, we're going to get 6 as our answer. Now, that should do it for the y equals x squared example.